Dude, that thing smokes so smooth.
It is. It's insane.
It's interesting too because of I mean, I'm just gonna guess it's a Candela thing, but I can taste the smoke so much more cleaner than a normal cigar. They're like a natural or a
Yeah.
Maduro. Like when I just blew it out, I caught a second flavor.
Hmm.
You know when you swing an iron out of a bunker and you catch the ball again, you double hit it?
Yeah.
That's what it just felt like in my mouth. Just like a pop
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the branding too.
All right.
Sick.
Well, Cigar family, I'm Steve. This is Zach. Happy Thursday to you all, and welcome to another episode of the Smoking Standard Podcast. Today, Zach and I are smoking a cigar that we have never, ever smoked before.
Yep.
The blend, the wrapper,
The brand.
we have never, ever smoked a cigar like this, and we smoked a ton of cigars. I don't have, for the audience, any kind of an educated response as to why I've never smoked a Candela. But today, I brought back cigars from the Miami Cigar Festival, specifically Grouchy Monkey Cigar Company, which is where this Candela is from. It's called the Distinguished Ape. And Zach and I decided we're going to do a Candela episode today, or at least some Candela content, because this is something that we've never smoked before. And quite honestly, we've already started talking, Zach. It's brought us back to when we did the interview questions.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, your first comment was, this is exactly a cigar that you could give a beginner because of the approachability and the sweetness naturally of the Candela wrapper. And again, talk about the construction. So we're going to dive into that in a minute. But, again, your first impressions, like we were talking, off camera when we first did the cut and light.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I want to clarify. This is a cigar I could put in the hand of a brand new smoker, a beginner smoker. It's not a dig in any way whatsoever. I cut it, put it in my mouth, and it breathes amazing. It's wide open. I don't have to fight it at all. It lit instantly. Now, of course, you've only had control of this thing for like a week now that it's been in your humidor. So just coming out of their hands, out of the company's hands, the thing is aged perfectly. It's completely seasoned. They take very good care of their product. The humidity levels are fine. But the appearance of it, right? The green wrapper, and this thing is velvety smooth, which means it's a sun or a shade grown, right? A shade grown Connecticut.
So that's one of the things when I was doing the research, I couldn't really find, like, how is this plant being grown for what thing?
Yeah.
Like you say, like if you let this plant go, is it going to end up being a Connecticut?
Yeah.
So more deep dive on that, to educate myself again on the Candela. But at the end of the day, we could dive right into, well, before we do that, real quick, to your point, the construction of this cigar is fantastic.
Yeah.
This Candela wrapper is gorgeous. It is pleasing to the eye. Again, we're talking about all the sensory things.
Yeah.
The aroma. Now, again, you and I both are pretty much country boys. We do a lot of work outside in fields and mowing grass and taking care of properties. And, and again, we live out here in rural North Carolina. So this barnyard, this grassy, notes that a Candela is going to give off are still very aromatically pleasing to us.
Oh yeah.
It's not unfamiliar at
Yeah.
all. You know, I mean, I got a great burn line. The draw on this, again, wicked smooth, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, again, for my first Candela, this did not ruin me in any way, shape, or form on Candelas. In fact, it's like, okay, you know what? I'll spend money on a Candela now.
Yeah.
I'll just park it in the humidor, and who knows when I'll pull it out. Like I said, we're talking about like on a pontoon boat maybe, or out fishing, or, you know, again, in the outdoors, like it goes with that, you know?
Yeah.
So
I have to ask you, because I don't have a clue. When you look at some of these things, like, is it the Green Hooligan and some of these like Shamrock, the St. Patty's Day barber poles and stuff they're doing, is that Candela tobacco that they're spinning with natural?
it has to be.
Okay. So technically, I have smoked Candela tobacco. I've never smoked a Candela though, or a double Claro, right?
Correct.
And I'm not a fan of like the crazy Shamrock barber pole things.
I'm not either.
I'm not even a fan of barber poles in general. Like, I think it looks cool, but
I don't think, in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not out there trying to convince the world about barber poles. This is just what I think. Again, 10 plus years smoking cigars, sommelier, like I smoke everything. Literally now I've smoked everything. Adding this to what I've smoked.
Yeah.
A barber pole doesn't perform like it looks.
Yeah.
I have not smoked a barber pole cigar of any blend combination of wrapper that I could literally tell I transitioned from one to the other to the other to the other.
Okay.
I personally don't think that it performs that way. So again, we shop with our eyes, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with makers that do barber poles. We are not here barber pole bashing.
Yeah.
It's just not my jam.
Yeah. 100%.
Especially when we're going to talk about, okay, I'm going to spend money on a barber pole. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm at. Yeah. I'll spend money on a Candela before I ever spend money on a barber pole.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm actually going to actively seek these out, because I mean, dude, I'm thoroughly enjoying this cigar right now. I really am. Something though that I'm thinking in my head now, and because the reason I brought up shade grown, right? Put the cheesecloths over it, filters the light, protects it from wind. That's how you get the ultra velvety smooth wrapper, minimal veining, right? As opposed to a sun grown. You look at some of these thick, toothy, veiny Maduros with all the oils at the surface.
Those big broadleaf wrappers.
So this thing, again, because we don't know what it is, right? On their website, it says the wrapper is Candela, right? It doesn't say Connecticut, shade grown, where the origin of the wrapper. It does say the origin of the cigar is Nicaraguan, so I don't know. But that being said, in my mind, I'm kind of treating this like a shade Connecticut, if that makes sense. Like maybe like an Ashton. I'm very curious if this ash is just gonna fly off the end of this thing, because
well, I mean, you can see right now we're both pretty much about the same distance into the first third.
Yeah.
And the ash color is what it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
For a well-constructed with some age on the tobacco, it's the right color.
Yeah.
It's compact.
Yeah.
You know, which by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again just in case. The presentation on the cigar before we cut and lit, pigtail, triple cap, closed foot.
Yeah.
So we went right to a soft flame. There's no need to toast it. Okay, we're not going to debate closed foot, toast it, don't toast it. Does that mean you're an animal or unrefined? Like that, we're not there for that. I personally am not going to toast a closed foot cigar, period, full stop. I'm going to get a soft flame. I'm going to take in that wrapper right off the rip, and that's how I'm going to approach a closed foot. And again, it didn't affect the burn line.
No.
And I didn't toast it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, does toasting have a place in the cigar light up style and procedure? 100%. But the proof is in the eyes. The eye test, my eyes work. And we went right to the soft flame, closed foot, and we have a great burn line.
Yeah.
Which speaks to the construction of the cigar. So again, toasting, that's fine. The construction of the cigar still gets a vote. So there's that.
So the reason I brought up the ash is because every time a cigar that looks and feels this way, right? A shade Connecticut. Every time I trust the ash, I immediately regret it because it just ends up all over me. But like you said, I mean, this thing is. I've never smoked a grouchy monkey. Neither of us have.
No.
So I didn't know what to expect.
No.
But this thing is outperforming any desire that I wanted out of this cigar.
Yeah. Again, brand new toy. Didn't know what we were going to expect. Put the keys in the ignition, bam, we're off and running. We're taking it for a ride. And so far, it's been great. Absolutely enjoying this. And again, we have heavy, dark, earthy palates.
Yeah.
And again, if you give a cigar to that point right there, if you approach a cigar completely objectively, zero predispositions, again, when you smoke enough cigars, you're going to have some predisposed notions of, again, you recognize the wrapper. I don't need to pull up the brochure and see what any of the, predominant literature has said, to include the manufacturer themselves. What are the tasty notes going to be? If you are into cigars, if you get nerdy like we get, where the wrapper binder fillers are from, you already have 90% of that solution.
Yeah.
The other 10% is going to be, what does my mouth tell me I'm going to get the most of? So that's how I think it plays into that. Which, on that note, because we never smoked a Candela, so I took some notes.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, how do you get a Candela wrapper? Okay. It's because it is cured at a very high temperature very quickly, which locks in the chlorophyll. Okay. Very simple. We're just going to leave it right there. Now, a theory could be formed that a Candela could have possibly been discovered on accident.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, if a curing barn fire got out of whack and they run in, oh, my leaves are ruined, and they're looking at them and they're bright green.
Right. Now, to be fair, the other side of that coin is these farmers, these blenders, all of the hands that touch a cigar to get it into our hands, those people are wicked smart.
Yeah.
And there are some time-tested, processes that are not to be messed with. Okay, and they shouldn't be, and they're not going to be. So the other side of the coin, okay, maybe it was discovered on accident. Maybe. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't.
Yeah.
What I'm also saying I found out is that the Candela became popular 40s, 50s, and 60s, particularly in the United States, because the demand for Cuban cigars was so high that the production was not keeping up.
Yeah.
And again, Cuban cigars are known for their mild, earthy notes, smooth, creamy. Okay. Well, if you can produce that same flavor profile faster, then that's what the Cubans did, but it changed the color of the wrapper.
Yeah.
So they just went with it.
Well, so that's an interesting thing I read, and I'm actually probably about to lose this ash, so. But of course, a lot of pictures from back then, and of course, as we get more modern, black and white photos. So when you look at these cigars in pictures, you can't tell if it's a Candela or not. JFK apparently was a big smoker of Candelas. And when they started auctioning off all of his properties and everything, people that were buying his humidors, whatever, slap chock full of Candelas. And I think it said around that era, Candelas were the best-selling cigars in America.
Yep.
Because they were calling them like American market cigars or something. I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw the
they were called the American Market Selection.
selection.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. It's odd. And I guess it's like any fad or anything that comes and goes.
Well, the consumer, even today, consumer drives production a little bit, reverse engineered, if you will.
Yeah.
So they have to put a cigar out faster, changes the color of the wrapper. You still get the same smoking experience from mild to medium bodied, very sweet. Now, again, make no mistake, a Candela is going to give off more of that barnyard, okay, that grass. Now, if we were to dig into the flavor wheel, okay, and we want to go like, okay, how does that get, one like what you describe versus what I describe versus what somebody else might describe? When you get out to the outer edge of the flavor wheel, that's where you get all those the more, shall we say, specific notes. So you could have dry grass, cut grass, wet grass, fresh grass, okay, hay, and so you get out into that space. And again, in my opinion, that is totally what your mouth is telling you, and that could be the verbiage that you're using. So fine. I mean, again, taste is personal. I'm never going to tell anybody that your mouth is wrong.
Yeah.
Ever. So, there's that.
You know what? I would be very curious because I think the green hue just really makes your mind go somewhere that it doesn't necessarily need to. But if you were to blindfold, and I could grab 5 guys today from the lounge, if I were to blindfold all 5 of them, Connecticut smokers, and put this in their hand, they'd probably know it's a Connecticut. Feel, lightness, like the fluffiness of the flavor.
Yeah.
And then you go down, the flavor wheel of Connecticut's. They'd probably just be like, that's an Ashton. It's a something, right? It's smoking well. It feels really nice.
Well, and
Smokes easy. It tastes good.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, outside of the fast curing, the accelerated curing, and the appearance, I don't see any reason that this thing is different than a Connecticut.
No, and I think that's another thing that we learned, you and I, just in the short time that we were researching the cigar. Again, the history of the Candela, what is a Candela? And then we went into, okay, what is Grouchy Monkey's Candela?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's no different than any other cigar. It is a specific wrapper that is still wrapped around a blend.
Yeah.
And with Grouchy Monkey, that blend is going to come from Jalapa, Condega, and Ometepe. So you have the growing regions of Nicaragua, 3 of the 4, that are predominantly going to go well with a Candela wrapper from the flavor profiles that those regions put out. Again, Jalapa is a very sweet tobacco plant.
Yeah.
Condega is going to be a little less, a more hardier leaf, a little less flavorful, but it's still going to be medium bodied. And then you have Ometepe. That's a volcanic island.
Yeah.
In Lake Nicaragua. And again, you have volcanic dirt, dark, heavy mineral dense dirt. You're going to get oily. You're going to get a lot more earth in that flavor profile. So those are the fillers, Jalapa, Condega, and Ometepe. Then you have the Habano binder. So now you bring in a very distinct spice profile to enhance. So this blend, again, if you're using a Candela wrapper, I can see now why, when I dig into the construction of this cigar, why they used the tobacco that they used.
Yeah.
Now, again, can you go high and right and pack a bunch of Lejano and some, plants from Esteli in there? Sure, you can. I think that has to be played with. I cannot even predict how that's going to come out, but but the blend makes sense now that I understand a Candela wrapper better,
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that's why I like the cigar, right?
yeah,
I love Nicaraguan tobacco. I love it. 4 regions give super distinct, as you just explained. But I mean, I almost have a sweet tooth when it comes to cigars. I like dark Maduros, super oily and toothy with that sweetness on there. It's just something I always look for. I think, I mean, I love foundation cigars, and I'm wowed every time I pick one up. But this one is going down the exact route of tobacco that I love, right? With the volcanic, the earthiness, but also tying the sweet, but also tying, like, it, I don't know. Nicaraguan tobacco just gives me everything I need.
yeah. And it's funny you say that when you talk about a sweet tooth. So even though our palates are similar, I talk to a lot of people that are like, if they're not very frequent smokers, but they want to pick out a cigar, I kind of go back to like, okay, so like, what's your favorite meal? Are you like a meat and potatoes person? Are you like a fish, chicken, vegetables? Do you like a lot of flavor on your food? Are you kind of more of a bland, all those things kind of play into there. So, because that's kind of how that goes. So you say you have a sweet tooth. I am a savory snacker. So for me, it's going to be, heavily salted almonds, cashews, um, I'm not a big candy person,
Yeah.
but if I have sweets, it's more of the darker sugar profiles, molasses,
Mhm.
cacao, dark chocolate. It's not the lighter side of sweets where we're talking like sugar cane um, like milk chocolate
Yeah.
and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So, and again, when you go back to the flavor wheel, again, you talk about sweet, closest to the middle of the bullseye, it's just got simply sweet. And then we go out as the flavor profile goes out, and you get on the outside of that flavor wheel and you get your specific sweets. Again, you get into molasses, caramels, vanillas, dark chocolate, cacaos, on and on and on. In fact, I would argue probably the sweet piece of the pie of that flavor wheel is probably one of the bigger of the sections
Yeah.
because of all of the different sweetness levels you can dial in on.
Well, if I'm building, right, we're sitting down to snack, right, and I'm building what I'm going to eat, I'm definitely the type of person that's like, let me find the perfect cracker and put the chocolate on there and the dried fruit and the little chunk of cured meat. I like to build the perfect bite, and I want it all in
Yeah.
one bite.
Yep.
I want the sweet, I want the savory, I want the meaty, I want the salty.
Yep.
I don't really eat much chocolate at all. If I do buy chocolate though, it is like a sea salt almond, whatever, whatever. Because I like complicated flavors in one bite so that I can stimulate that part of my brain that likes to unravel uh, flavors or whatever. I like to play with complex things.
Yeah. And it's funny, when I think about my time in Europe, particularly my second tour over there and traveling through Europe, and even in it, in and around Germany where I lived, but even if you get into Austria or, Italy, Slovenia, places like that, Belgium, even up north, like you're not France, okay, minus the pastry piece, okay, but when you have breakfast there, it's not an American breakfast.
Yeah.
It's not eggs, bacon, pancakes, things of that nature. It is cured meats, and the sweetness profile is going to come from either freshly squeezed juice or yogurt.
Okay.
So the dairy sweet, and again, and we're not talking flavored strawberry, blueberry, blah, blah. We're talking like whole fat,
Yeah.
like fresh from the cow dairy yogurt kind of a deal, thick and heavy, right? And most of the eggs over there are poached or boiled. They're not fried or scrambled or any of that. Again, because super heavy agriculture, things of that nature. So the breakfasts over there were not designed to be sweet. There's not syrups and jams and jellies and all of these things. It's like, again, the cured meat, that salty profile, spices, salamis, things of that nature. So that's, again, and I love that. Like, I could eat breakfast like that every day, if I had, the time to cure my own meat and like make my own charcuterie boards every day. Like, I would be doing stuff like that because I love those flavor profiles.
Yeah.
Back to the Candela, which I think is why we're enjoying it so much, is because, one, we went into it objectively, like, we don't know anything about this. We did some research on it. Okay, cool. You and I have been smoking cigars forever. Well, forever, 10 plus years, so we've got, our palate has been developed. We know what it is. We know what it likes. We've smoked other cigars. We've enjoyed other blends because we understand tobacco, and we can enjoy tobacco of all strengths and blend combinations.
Yeah.
This still, I would say it's fringe of our palate profile on the way lighter side because of the strength of the cigar.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But from the body of the cigar, there is some complexity in this blend. This is not bland.
Yeah.
By any stretch.
Okay, so you met the Grouchy Monkey people, right? At the event.
I did.
They have a full line.
They do.
What do we have?
We have all of it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. We have their Habano, we have their Maduro, we have their Connecticut, we have their Candela.
So I really like this cigar, but I'm not satisfied.
Right.
I'm so excited to smoke their Maduro, and I hope it smacks me in the face.
Yeah.
Because if it's blended as well as this thing is, sold.
And if I'm not mistaken, again, this is not the gospel, but if I remember correctly, the Habano and the Maduro are box pressed.
Oh, cool.
So another way to manipulate the flavor profile.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Do you know if everything is triple capped? Or is it just because this is a delicate wrapper? I don't
know. I would offer that they are.
Okay.
I haven't physically inspected all the cigars.
Yeah.
What I'm finding, though, the really well-crafted cigars are going to be triple capped.
Oh, yeah.
That is super Cubanesque.
Yeah.
Okay. Very traditional. And I also think it's not by mistake. Now, I can only form a hypothesis on this, but I would offer, over the years, as feedback comes and goes to manufacturers and consumers and reviews and conversations around the table and lounges and blah, 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 it gets back to the company, obviously, because the reps go and they hear this and that. And again, all this information. I would form a hypothesis that triple capping also serves a greater purpose, because let's face it, you've got people out there that are not skilled with the guillotine cutter.
Yeah.
And they're going to
on these giant bench tops.
Yeah, they're going to hammer the cap of that cigar. So, maybe the triple cap is out there as a way to, save people from themselves. You cut a little bit too much off, you still got about a cap and a half to keep it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I've seen people out there, older guys smoking cigars that are just, they gnaw on it. And there's no amount of construction that's going to save a cigar from that.
Yeah.
They're just like T-Rexing it to death.
Yeah.
And like, what, God bless them. So who am I to say?
Look at that burn line.
I know. And again, we're talking and we're not like going at it in the prescribed 30 seconds to 45 seconds per draw, and it's still staying lit.
Yeah.
I mean, and so airflow, construction.
I'm sorry, I got to take a picture of this. This is...
Now, one of the things, so on that note, I did meet the Grouchy Monkey owners.
Yeah.
Okay. They were there. I met the people behind the brand. One of the reasons why I picked up this Candela and didn't pass it on by, because again, I'm buying cigars for both of us. I know where our profile's at. I'm picking a little bit, everybody's everything. To my knowledge, this was the only Candela offered at the event.
Okay.
Based on my memory.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be. The reason why I picked these up for us is because they were so passionate about how awesome this cigar is.
Okay.
Now I know why. The people that own the brand convinced me to buy 2 of their cigars that I've never smoked before, a wrapper I've never smoked before ever.
Yeah.
I don't have an educated answer on why I have not. I just haven't.
So Fuente, Arturo Fuente, has a Candela. LFD has a Candela.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's other main lines. Mostly what I saw when searching for Candela is companies that we just don't have here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue that's necessarily boutique versus main brand, but I've never seen a full Candela on a shelf, ever. Ever. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I looked. There's no Candelas for sale anywhere here. I mean, I don't know, Anstead's might, but our 2 shops here don't carry them. Oh,
Yeah.
Rocky Patel, they make one.
I've never seen a Rocky Candela in the wild. Again,
Yeah,
we are limited where we are.
yeah,
And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a lounge owner, what are you going to do? You're gonna move what moves.
Yeah.
Period. You're gonna buy what moves, and you're gonna and okay. So business 101. Okay, supply and demand. I'm not going to litter my shelves with cigars that I know aren't moving.
mm-hmm.
But I would offer, again, just a theory. It's just Steve Pinero's opinion. Lack of education and true appreciation for Candela is probably the biggest problem.
Yeah. All right. Another huge kudos. Fully sticky band, lightly placed on the cigar.
Yep, did
I
not
mean, this is a very delicate
wrapper, and it did not take the wrapper with it.
Not a hair.
Yep. Again, we shop with our eyes.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing is, if you really want to dive in and so we're smoking Grouchy Monkey today. Okay. We have tons of cigars, boutique and craft to go through. But let's face it, bands are a thing. Okay. And that is the finishing touch of the cigar.
Yeah.
Band placement, paper, color, the whole nine, and to a certain, and again, bands are not designed to stick to the cigar anyway. They use a vegetable resin.
Yeah.
Is how they tack the bands on there. Same thing with the caps.
Yeah.
So they're not supposed to tear your cigar apart. Now, I would offer that's a humidification problem.
Yeah.
So again, if your humidor's a little bit out of whack, then particularly it's a little bit too wet, you're going to have bands sticking to the wrappers.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing too.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, but top to bottom so far. And again, I really, you and I talked about it when we started this project, like we're not going to get heavy into the review game, meaning we're not going to give you a numbered rating system. We're simply going to talk about our enjoyment level of the experience of what we're smoking. And I can absolutely say that my first Candela that happens to be from Grouchy Monkey Cigar Company has been a excellent cigar smoking experience.
Yeah.
If you just want to talk about what is your cigar smoking experience supposed to contain, obviously cigar construction, presentation, flavor profile, and oh, by the way, again, where does this cigar take you? The aroma, the grassy.
I feel like I'm sitting in your backyard.
Yeah. We probably should have smoked this out on the back patio, overlooking, but the guys over there scraping the lot, we're gonna mess that up. But yeah, so
I don't know if you noticed, but I just brought this thing back from the dead. It was like almost completely out, and I just puffed on it a little bit.
well,
I'm still fighting it, but
and you bring up another point about blending and cigar construction. There is a very delicate dance to be done with what education that I have on building a cigar. With, again, the tobacco you choose for the flavor, but also the tobacco you use for the burn quality. We talk all the time about Fuente's famous cone, the Ligero. It's in the middle. There's a reason why it's there. If you're constructing the cigar, if you put, Ligeros and leaves that don't burn as fast on the outside, then you're going to tunnel your cigar.
Yeah.
So again, back to the artisanal, the hand craftsmanship of a cigar.
Yeah.
So your ability to, as you say, bring it back from the dead, that's also not a mistake. That's not an accident.
Yeah.
The cigar was constructed that way. But yeah, great experience smoking my first Candela. Absolutely would buy this specific one again. My curiosity is peaked now to smoke other manufacturers' Candelas and see where they fall.
I really want to try the LFD because that's another line that I love. They kind of fulfill all of my check boxes. I don't even know what the lightest LFD I've smoked would be.
So I have to,
what is a light, like a Solus?
Yeah.
I've smoked a few Solus. That's a fantastic cigar.
Yeah. Again, the Solus from a flavor profile is in the same line of Fuente Magars.
Yeah.
Cinnamon, graham cracker, a lot of baking spice. Again, you talk about the sweeter profiles, so yeah, I've smoked Solus. I would offer LFD. If you look at their blends, again, it's on their band, double ligeros.
Yeah.
Volcadas, like they are strong cigars, not only from a body of flavor profile, but from a strength spectrum.
Yeah.
They're probably the heavier hitters out there from those two perspectives. But I will tell you, I bet you I have one that you may or may not have smoked in my humidor that I feel would probably answer your question to what is on the lighter side of
airbenders, dude. I love airbenders.
I've never smoked an airbender.
I'm gonna bring you one.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So what do you have? Sorry.
Well, I have the LFD 25th anniversary, which is a shade Connecticut.
The 25th anniversary?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have? The 30th? What's out now?
I believe so.
30th? Okay, so I have a handful. They have the pink flower on them.
Yeah. Those just came out. Yeah. Now, I have heard from experienced smokers that 25th is very loosely based off the Andalusian Bull from a blend and a flavor perspective. So it's like, and price point, you can find 25ths. Well, I will tell you right now, I haven't seen the 25th anniversaries that I have right now. I've probably had them in my humidor for over 2 years.
Really? But I guess my mind went blank because I didn't even think about an Andalusian Bull either. But again, when I go to LFD, cabinet 5, cabinet 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm smoking heavy.
Yep. Double heados on the golf course. Yeah. OG.
Petite Lennox, little nightcap.
I'm a huge fan of their Cameroon cabinets now. Those are hard to find. I'm a big fan of their Ordos. Those aren't necessarily easy to find either. So yeah, I'm glad we smoked this. I'm glad I bought these.
Yeah.
But back to your point, talk about satisfaction. I don't think it's a bad thing if a cigar necessarily leaves you wanting a little more.
No.
Because at the end of the day, I don't think that necessarily detracts or degrades the smoking experience.
Yeah.
But again, if you understand the blend, well, it would make sense why you want a little more. It's not a bad thing. It just means that you know your palate, because you and I could easily smoke this, go in, grab a cabinet number 5, okay, or a double ligero, an LFD, or You know, we could grab a Hemingway natural or even a Padron natural, which is gonna, again, a Nicaraguan puro, which is gonna, it's gonna smack you around a little bit if you're not ready for a natural wrapper.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, oh, natural wrapper's so lighter. Like, yeah, don't sleep. Natural wrappers are not designed to be easy on the palate.
Yeah.
They're coming with a little substance. But we could absolutely pick up one of those and smoke it right after this, and it isn't like we've got like palate overload all of a sudden.
Yeah. I don't know if you've gotten there yet, but I'm getting kind of spicy over here.
Yeah, it's picking up a little bit. It's picking up a little bit.
It's checking a lot of my boxes.
Yeah. And again, we're doing this at what? 11:30. We started the podcast today.
Yeah.
You know, so we're still mid-morning.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, this is
Nice, easy smoke. Yeah, overall, yeah, great smoking experience. Yeah, not disappointed at all that it's a Candela. You know, again, I think a lot of the Candela, I don't know, I don't want to say mystery, but and I don't even want to say fear, but just the apprehension,
yeah.
of picking up a Candela is just lack of education on Candelas. That's all. And again, information is free. Google it.
Yeah.
You know.
So riddle me this. In order to keep up with production, they're cranking out Candela wrappers. Is there just that much binder and filler tobacco out there that you're having to dig through the prettiest and highest quality
Yes.
wrappers to put on the binder and the filler?
Yes.
Okay.
When you talk about primings of the plant and you get into regions of the world where, again, there are some regions, Dominican Republic, perfect example.
Yeah.
I feel perfect example. And Fuente was like, hold my beer. Can't do a wrapper. So, okay. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, if the cigar industry at that time is telling one of the, not the, but one of the biggest tobacco growing families and cigar production families in the industry that you cannot grow a Dominican wrapper, then my mind immediately goes to, then Dominican tobacco is primarily going to be used for binder and filler.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a burn rate. It's going to give you other flavor profiles that are going to play in that blend with whatever wrapper you choose to put on it. Now, that may not be exactly the correct assumption,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where my mind went when I first started reading about the Opus X. That is Opus X. It is a Dominican puro with a Dominican wrapper on it. That's where Opus X came from.
Yeah.
And it is a high-end cigar.
Yeah.
Highly sought after.
Yeah.
Okay. So to your point, yes, there is probably a ratio binder and filler to wrapper plants and farms where you have the abundance of the main body of the cigar, but then that wrapper leaf, which has to be, again, aesthetically pleasing. It's got to be pliable. You've got to be able to, you know, rehydrate it. Because again, cigars are rolled at super high humidity.
Yeah.
Super high. That's why the roller's fingers are always, I mean, they're stained in tobacco.
Yeah.
Because of how wet the wrapper leaf has to be to stretch it and roll it and keep it tight. And then they re-dry it out to that 70% so that everything kind of tightens up in the construction of the cigars that way. So what a wrapper goes through just to roll a cigar, absolutely, there's way more binder filler out there than there is wrappers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've never been to a cigar factory, cigar tobacco farm. So I only know it all from like YouTube videos and cigar aficionado articles and whatever, but that's the kind of like nerd level I want to get into, like temperatures and humidities and what do you do? How long does it take? Because 30 to 45 days is in a curing barn.
Yep.
Crispy like a potato chip. They take them out, super hydrate them, roll them, dry them, age them. I don't know. Like that. We need to take a trip.
We do.
we need to take a trip.
We do need to take a trip. I 100% concur. And it's the same for me. Again, being able to smoke cigars with Manny Idiate and those group of men, cigar bucket list checked. There's one off my list.
Yeah.
Okay. met Carlito, gave me a big hug, had a conversation with him, bucket list checked. Met Rocky Patel, had a conversation with him, bucket list checked. Now, on that same bucket list, walking a tobacco field while smoking a cigar freshly rolled and touching the plants, going into the curing barns, seeing the pilones and how they are stacked, restacked, especially from a Maduro. And again, you and I like Maduros.
Yeah.
Longest aged wrapper out there.
Yeah.
You know, from the and okay, let me back up. Let me correct what I just said. Longest fermented wrapper out there. So when you talk about production and availability, well, a Maduro, that's why you don't see. Does everybody have one? Yes, they do. More than likely, though, when they were putting out their portfolio, again, standard portfolio, Connecticut, Habano, Maduro, boom.
Yeah.
Standard Vitolas. If I was a cigar manufacturer, we were starting our own cigar company, that's what we're going to put out. The big three, boom, get them out there, majority of the market, and then we'll start messing with some other stuff, you know? So yeah, I mean, 100%, I would say the binder filler availability to wrapper availability, that's a big ratio there.
We're going to make a Candela?
I'm in. Okay, back to the Candela. Okay. I have my interest is peaked.
Yeah.
Because the Candela is heated. The plant is heated at 165 degrees.
Yeah.
So clearly that's hotter. I would love to go see that process. Are they lighting fires in the drying barns to heat it up and cure it faster?
Yeah.
Or is it being harvested and heated? I mean, again, we have technology now, but let's face it, these cigars are not made by machines, and the factories don't have these massive like
a giant furnace,
like drying rooms where they're like, all right, set this to 165, we're doing Candelas in this one. Like, I mean, they might, like, we won't know till we go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, everything I read, I didn't see anything about electronic furnaces or propane, blah blah blah. It said they build the fires in a certain way, and I guess, I mean, just like a grill, right? Like a charcoal grill. Start the fire, close the lid, play with your little slide wheel, more air in, more air out, rip and fire.
Yep.
And I guess, I mean, that's why they're the best in the world, right? They just know exactly what to do, how to do it, and get the result they want.
Well, again, and the curing barns, thatched roofs.
Yeah.
They may have wood sides, but there's windows to open up. Again, airflow, heat, humidity. Yeah. Let's face it, all the growing ranges where tobacco is grown, those are not arid. It isn't like it's Arizona.
Yeah.
A lot of humidity. Rainy seasons. Everything is green all the time. So, yeah, I mean, they know how to play with Mother Nature and the environment like to perfection. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which again, with all the more reason to go and see a farm and a factory growing tobacco, making cigars, and just walk through that experience.
Yeah.
Again, and I'm the worst guy to go to a museum with. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Why?
My kids and my wife hate going to museums with me because I'm the guy that goes in the front door and I start at display number 1 and I read every single plaque and paper and description. And when we were in France going through all the museums, they were miserable.
Yeah. I'll just let them run through and then go to lunch.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my kids were literally outside. I can't remember which museum it was. And we did so if you go to France, like you can buy like the express tickets. So everybody's waiting in line to get in the museum. We're like, we're going through the fast lane, right? So the kids are like, Dad, we're not going in there. We're done. So I literally left my 3 high school age kids and junior high daughter, my boys and my daughter outside in France. My wife and I go through the museum. We come back out. They're like, Dad, You got to see all these pictures. Like my kids are out there. One of them's laying on the ground. The other one, somehow they found something that the birds were, and they're like, birds are on their chest, like eating. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know? Yeah. But nobody snatched them.
Yeah.
Nope. They were left alone for, a couple hours, and they're just outside playing in France, like feeding the birds off their chest and stuff, like whatever, but yeah, but they're like, we're not, Dad, you're killing us. You're absolutely killing us right now. But I'll read every stinking thing in the museum.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a big history buff, but when I was in school, as much as I loved history, you make me write a paper on something, you lost me.
Yeah.
Ruined it for me right off the rip. Yeah, great cigar.
It's not light in nicotine either.
No.
Not at all.
No, the strength is there.
Yeah.
Again, the Candela, the Candela plant that's in the filler, which is, it's a medium-bodied plant.
Yeah.
So you're going to get some strength off of that. So on that note, current event, Artemis II goes into space yesterday. We always talk about smoking cigars. The cigar community is always batting around this topic, like, what is the right occasion to smoke said cigar? And then you have, a cigar maker, Michael Herklotz, Ferio Tego, and he's like, hey, make today a special day and smoke whatever cigar you want. So we're in Florida. We packed up our cigars. We're going to go watch the rocket launch. What are you packing for a rocket launch? What is your rocket launch cigar? Everybody has their desert island cigar. What's our rocket launch cigar?
To be corny, probably a Solus.
Okay. That's
and
fair.
It's not like it's a crazy, well, what is that size called? Because I know like Drew Estates does the A40 or whatever. Like, it's 7 inches.
So
54 ring gauge. Not even 50.
No, I'd say it's
50.
probably like 50.
50.
Like it's a borderline
50 by 7.
Are you a Solomon? Are you a well, you're not a Lancero, but you're thin and long.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But it's a $26 to $30 cigar, so it's not an everyday smoke for me. But it's not one of those unreachable. So like,
it's seasonal.
Yeah.
If you notice, it comes out, August. You'll start seeing them because it's going into fall.
Well, they've been on this shelf for a year.
Consumer, lack of education.
So I can get one anytime I want. But yeah, that's my rocket launch cigar.
So for me, using the theme of launching a rocket, high-powered rocket fuel, I'm going to pick one of 3. Or I might pack all 3, and then I'll just like make a game time decision.
Yeah.
But in my 3 rocket launch cigar pack is going to be a Tatuaje Cajonu.
03.
Of that note, your boy got some 03s in his humidor.
You brought them back?
I brought them back.
Oh.
And you know where I found them? George Valdez, Sabor Havana. I knew when I went in there for the after party, I'm like, yeah, okay, I went in and got my table. I put my stuff down, marked my spot right. And I'm going back in the humidor. You know why? Because I guarantee you that guy's got some unicorns in here somewhere that I've heard about, and I'm not going to get them in North Carolina. Boom. What do I find? Cajonu 2003s. I'm like, boom, I'll take 5 of those, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I got something. I got one for you.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be in there. I'm probably going to have an LFD in there. More than likely, I'm going to go with a double Ligero, but I'm going to buy it in the longest Vitola that I can find that LFD makes. And I think they do make a 6.5, damn near a 7-incher.
Yeah.
In double Ligero. In fact, I know they do because
is that a digger?
No, it's just their double Ligero.
Oh.
Yeah. Because you know who smokes them? Anthony Williams, Tony Dralco. Shout out Tony Dralco again. My man ripped through a freaking Solomon of a double Ligero in the time it took me to smoke a Johnny Tobacconot 10th anniversary.
He's not playing.
I'm like, bro.
You all right?
That's impressive. That's like your lung capacity is intense.
Yeah.
He's like, what? He's like, no big deal. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, you're the man.
Yeah.
Third one, and again, shout out to two guys that may or may not ever, because I honestly didn't get a way to contact them, but Jesus and Armando that I met at the after party of the Miami Cigar Festival at Sabor Havana, a Padron 1926 #1.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 rocket launch cigars.
So I was looking at the #1s. Can't find them here, of course.
I'm going to
But
use
they're
the
not
word
unobtainable,
exactly.
which is insane.
In our area, I'm going to use the word never.
Yeah, yeah.
Never are we going to see that.
Yeah.
Maybe if we venture up into Raleigh, maybe if we venture off into Charlotte.
Speaking of,
Maybe.
Red Phone Booth coming to Durham.
Read the article.
Yeah.
I sent you a message back. Did you see what I said?
Yeah.
I'm lost. Okay, I'm not going to get in a political discussion about this.
Yeah.
However, it would seem that the amount of shade and the hate being thrown on that idea, I was like, really?
I mean, they didn't say where it's going, right? But it has to be downtown.
It's Orange. It's Orange Street.
So,
it is downtown.
So what's around there? Maybe is it?
So I didn't really pull up on
hair salons or something. I mean,
so when I was doing tastings and doing marketing events for the distillery I worked for, I was up in Durham like twice a week.
Yeah,
and I was primarily operating around the ball field. So the old tobacco factory, the campus that's still there, nice little bar down there called the Waiting Room. There's a rooftop bar on the other side of the block over the left field fence. There's a rooftop bar over there. There was a couple other places I didn't quite make it to that are a little deeper in the bowels of, like, say, true downtown Durham.
Yeah.
I didn't really get down in there. I'm guessing from the comments that I was reading, I read just about damn near all of them, because it kept being something that nobody liked. And then the true cigar haters came out. Like, again, people that don't think that if you light up a cigar at one end of town, it is going to affect somebody on the other end of town miles away.
Yeah.
They were just so anti-cigar.
Yeah.
And then you got these experts that are like, or I'm sorry, they're not experts, these pseudo experts, these self-proclaimed experts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cigars and food, like how they work that out and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going like, clearly you haven't been to South Florida or Tampa, because it is not uncommon that you are having food and smoking cigars in the same room.
Ray's Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Restaurant in the front.
Yeah.
Private room in the back. Eating beautiful steaks, smoking cigars, drinking wine and bourbon. It's a perfect trio.
So has Durham gone full blue, pun intended, because the Durham Bulls color is blue?
Yeah.
It would seem so. But I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but it was just they didn't like it. Now, me personally, I never got to the Red Phone booth down in Florida, which is over in the Brickell district. Super high end, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of lounges, wonderful restaurants over there on the east side of Miami. I didn't get over into that, but that was on my list of places to go if I had enough time, was to go to the Red Phone booth over there, because again, speakeasy environment, the whole thing. Type in the number going, which, oh, by the way, Raleigh has a private, well, you can buy a membership.
Okay.
But they have a speakeasy that you have to get a key mailed to you to get into the thing. I can't remember the name of it.
Expensive?
I'd have to look it up real quick. Yeah, the membership is significant. But it looks gorgeous on the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, And again, the membership is only $400 a year, and they were complaining about that. And I'm going like, okay, wait a minute.
But for the Red Phone booth,
yeah.
But even then, right? You stay in a hotel near there.
The hotels have
access
access,
the front desk,
because they want the tourism in there.
Yeah. $400 a year for a lounge is nothing. Like, even if you don't get like kickback cigars or whatever,
yeah,
it's $400 a year.
A year. And and everybody was like, well, we only go out Wednesday night, so why would we pay $400 a year? Okay, then don't pay
Then don't go.
$400 a year. Like, that is 100% your choice.
Then stay home.
Just how it was all voiced, I'm just like, man, development in Durham is like, it's blowing up a little bit.
So, I mean, there's only a handful of things that really could occur for this to be an issue. Either something else was going to go there and it didn't work out and people are upset about it. There's some special type of business that's on that street that they feel like they're going to be negatively impacted by exhaust ventilation, which, if they've ever been to a cigar lounge with proper ventilation, they would understand there's absolutely zero concern.
Zero. It dissipates so
Yeah.
quickly once it gets on the outside of the building. It's like it
If
doesn't
you're
make any
blowing
sense.
it out with significant force, yeah, you're not even going to smell it.
Well, the other thing is, then there was the people that chimed in, well, that's a chain.
A chain of 9? There's 2 or 3 in Atlanta. There's 1 in Nashville. I know 1 in Florida. I don't know if there's any more. But, I mean, there's less than a dozen of them, I believe.
I
Probably
mean,
1 in Chicago, I think.
yeah. Is that really a problem?
It's a chain, but they still eat at Chick-fil-A. You know?
Happy hours.
Yeah.
Applebee's. Like, I mean,
Applebee's.
now I will tell you, when I was operating in Durham, I was actually very pleasantly surprised. Durham's social scene is actually pretty legit.
Oh, yeah.
There are some amazing bars and craft cocktails, and and again, you have DPAC down there, the Performing Arts Center's down there right next to the ballpark. Again, they have repurposed the tobacco factory campus exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor golf is down there, in that area. So it would seem to be that really you would have to find a reason to be whining about this project, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what it all boiled down to me. When I read through the comments, I'm like, that's just,
Yeah.
But
I'm super excited about this Poplar place. Just another place to go, and now, unfortunately, it's only outdoors. From reading their little flyer thing, but
which, okay, this is 53-year-old old man Steve talking now. Like, in a couple more months around here, outdoor is not pleasant.
Yeah.
It's just not. So, and then I'm gonna light something on fire and stick it in my face and drink some high proof bourbon. Like, it's just not good. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But again, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a great variety, and
well, it's giving the option to people.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying you can never smoke on our patio. They're saying if you want to come and smoke on our patio, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool. I think more places need to do that.
Yeah. But I think it also goes back to what PCA and the other organizations, TAA, are all fighting with, lumping cigars into the hyper aggressive cigarette smoking community. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
The aroma is not the same thing. People that, I'm going to go out on a limb a little bit and get some people mad at me. Cigarette smokers and cigar smokers, we are not the same.
No.
Okay, we're not ripping cigars on a 10-minute lunch, break. We're not, dragging 3 or 4 at a time and then going back in and finishing our meal. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So again, it's not the same thing. So, especially in our area here, having an eclectic and a diverse variety of places to go and smoke a cigar and enjoy food and drink is, I'm never going to frown on that.
Yeah.
It just, there's no reason to. Again, if you don't like it, then don't go there. But don't bend the will of the community to your very specific reasons on why you don't like a thing.
It drives me nuts that everybody feels like they have to voice their opinion. I went to you read these Google reviews, right? Read the people posting on Facebook, whatever. I went to this restaurant and this gentleman, we sat outside. It was a lovely evening. This gentleman finished his meal, lit up a cigar, and it was just disgusting. You're like, then don't go out. Then cook in your own kitchen, eat in your own home, crawl into bed, and leave everybody else out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see the war to be had. It has to be created. That is just a division that has to be purposefully created.
Yeah.
You know. And again, as a cigar smoker, I am not lighting up my cigar specifically for the purpose to offend you. It's not what I'm doing. I'm there relaxing, enjoying it in my way.
Yeah.
You know. So it's not a jab at you personally because I lit up a cigar and be like, I bet you I could clean this place out in 10 minutes. Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It's just my way of enjoying my meal, my evening out. It's just how I choose to do it. So it's not personal. I discovered a place again when I was working up in the area, traveling up there twice a week for sales and marketing. There is a winery on the north side, on the outskirts of Durham. In fact, if I remember correctly, yeah, it still is as a Durham address. A place called the Zinc House. Dude, we got to go up there. It's a winery.
Yeah. Like a full vineyard winery.
Full vineyard, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Wedding venue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is spectacular.
Yeah.
The views, the sunsets. They have an inside bar and a big room where they do tastings on this long table. And that is enclosed. So there's it's indoor, so you have some privacy. There's some high top tables. There's a bar in there. You go out of that building, go up the stairs, or you go through a little door and go up the stairs. And there's on the second story, an open air bar up there, which overlooks the vineyard.
Yeah.
Big fountains. Then they have a separate building that they call their whiskey bar. So bourbon, rye, scotches, all in there. Big stage, live band. There's also live music in the open air bar on the second story. You could buy cigars in their gift shop and go smoke them. There's a space on the outside of the whiskey bar. You can smoke cigars out there. And I think those are house curated cigars from a craft or a boutique brand that I did not recognize at all.
Yeah.
No legacy, no nothing in there. It's the same. It's just the same brand, and they're different blends. Super small selection. You could bring your own, of course. They don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, great place. And they don't serve food, but they have a space specifically they built, and there's 3 food trucks on either side of this big giant cement pad, cobblestone pad. So there's all these different food trucks. They have painting, art events. They've got plated dinners. They'll bring in a caterer.
Dang.
They always do something for the holidays, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween.
Yeah.
They got this other little building tucked up in the woodline, little coffee shop, a little boutique coffee shop up there, all kind of stuff. So it's great. It's a great venue.
Yeah.
And it is packed. It's packed.
Yeah.
You drive it, you make the turn, you go up this road and you start to see the vineyards, and they've got a nice entranceway, and there's fountains and stuff down there. But there'll be cars parked all the way down there, and they have a guy running a golf cart that'll shuttle you up to
cool.
the main
Super cool,
to the main property. But it is packed. It stays packed. But yeah, Durham is not a place that I didn't expect to see what I saw in the comments.
Yeah.
And again, Durham's kind of a hump for us. From down here. Again, Raleigh's, deep downtown Raleigh, an hour and a half. Durham, solid 2 hours.
Yeah.
Again, Charlotte, proper solid 2 hours. But even if you go on the north side, Huntersville and Morrisville, Kannapolis, all those places. It's a drive. It's a full day to go have a meal in Durham, experience the red foam booth, smoke a cigar, and then drive all the way back. But it's not worth the trip. If you have the time, do it.
Yeah.
Because again, Durham's social scene, and to me, honestly, is a super well-kept secret.
Yeah.
But it's legit.
Well, ton of colleges up there, right? Just based off of pure numbers, right?
Yeah.
They're bringing their age down Like that's a pretty young city in
Yeah.
terms of the people that live there.
I mean,
Um,
if you know, and if you want to go on, the simple cigars and an elevated experience, elegance, affluence, you got Duke right there.
yeah,
I mean, let's face it, nobody going to Duke is going to do anything other than change the world. Chapel Hill is going to bleed into it a little bit.
yeah. I mean,
So
Chapel Hill, Duke, NC State. I don't know, a little education mecca,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah. So from that standpoint, like cigars, you would think would be a thing.
Yeah,
And what I'm finding too, we talk about again down in South Florida, in Miami, or if you're in Tampa, Ybor. Cigar culture here is super limited. It's not something that is promoted heavily. That 1%, which the general rule is like you take any, city, anywhere in the United States, how many people smoke cigars? Probably about 1%.
but I think the cigar, what we do have for cigars exists here solely because of golf.
Oh
So
yeah.
we just kind of lucked out. I'm not even sure like the military is enough to justify a cigar culture existing here.
No, I don't think so at all.
Which kind of goes back to the original thing for this brand. Like we're very lucky to have access to 2 lounges and a couple other spots to pick things up and travel within 2 hours to be able to experience it. But move an hour in any direction, that just puts you even further away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
not everybody's as lucky as we are.
Yeah, but very glad that I picked up these Candelas for us. A great experience for the first time ever smoking a Candela. Way better understanding now, having smoked it, of the flavor profiles and how it's going to play on my palate. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with a Candela. But again, I think a Candela is no different than any other blend once you've been smoking for a while. You're going to gravitate to where your palate is. And unless you are in a specific space where, again, for me, I take being a sommelier very seriously. So I smoke a little bit of everything. I read up on a little bit of everything. The few events that I do repetitively in the area for curating their selections, if I was just going off of my palate and I didn't really experience any other blends, that significantly limits, the quality and the experience that I can give to those events. But yeah, that's why the cigar lounges around us, that's what they put in there,
Yeah.
is because, the consumer has said, this is most commonly what I'm grabbing. And honestly, between the two lounges, there's a very distinct selection.
Oh yeah.
Like,
For
quite
sure.
honestly, the lounge where we go to, we frequent quite a bit. I would argue that's more of your legacy and your upper end
Yeah.
from a selection standpoint. And even still, you and I can, we can always, we really want something to be in there, but if Zach and Steve are the only ones buying it, like, they're not bringing it in.
Yeah.
The other cigar lounge, super heavy on other brands, McAuliffe, Espinosa, Macanudo's, and, entire portfolio,
Mhm.
which they get a bad rap. I'll smoke Macanudo's, no problem.
It's OG line.
It is, much like Alec Bradley. They got a ton of Alec Bradley.
Yeah.
The cigar lounge we go to, like 1 or 2.
Yeah, and they've gotten rid of a lot, really. Freddie actually put me on to Alec Bradley's way back in the day. I've grabbed a few just in passing, but he put me on Kintsugi, the Tempest, the Fig. Freaking awesome cigar.
Yeah.
Actually, the first golf tournament I ever went to through the cigar lounge, they handed out the Tempest Figurado,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the first time I smoked it. I didn't even pay attention to it. I was like, oh yeah, Alec Bradley, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh cool, it's a Figurado. Smoked it, loved it.
Yep.
Couldn't remember what it was called. Went back to Freddie and I'm like, what did you hand out?
Yeah.
Oh, this thing. By the way, there's like 3 boxes in there, so nobody else buys them.
Yep.
So you have access to 3 boxes now. And
Yeah.
over the past couple of years, man, if I don't know what I want,
Yep.
it's an easy pick.
Yeah. El Septimo. Can't find it ours. Used to have it in just a couple, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But we have to go to the other cigar lounge if we want to find any selection of El Septimo.
Yeah.
Again, H. Upman, you know. So between the two, there really probably isn't a whole lot we can't find. But if you want to get really super, like, so here's a perfect example. One of the reasons why I bought as many cigars as I did and went by Karen Burgers in Daytona is because I know they're not going to make it up here. They're just not.
Yeah.
There's no real reason why. And again, they go to the PCA just like everybody else does to do their ordering, you know, so there's that. But, you know, Luisa Batista, you know, Belladama, like there's West Tampa tobacco. Like there's I got some West Tampa tobacco I brought back, you know, because I know I'm not going to get it up here. Regionally, if you go down into Florida, the cigar selection just opens way up.
Yeah.
Way up. But yeah, so we pretty much, we went down the Candela rabbit hole today.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
I am.
And to be honest, if that was on the shelf here, it's going right up there with when I do want a lighter cigar. I mean, that's right next to an Ashton in my mind.
Yeah.
Right next to it.
Yeah, this will easily stand up to a Scotch.
Oh, yeah.
A rum.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, shoot. Because of the herbal profile in it, you could throw down some gin with this thing too. I would.
Yeah.
You know, that might be a cigar faux pas, clear spirits, but I'd do it.
Yeah, I kept trying to remind myself, like thinking of green tea.
Mhm.
Because obviously, like the hay grass is there. So I kept like trying to like pinpoint certain flavors. Is it like Lipton green tea? Is it like green tea leaves? Is it like fresh brewed tea, dried tea?
Yeah.
And I couldn't really figure it out, but it kept like that, like what I said, right? Double hitting the ball out of a bunker.
Yeah.
I kept feeling something else was there, and I just couldn't pin it down.
So
Not through my first ever, but
for me, this is more of if I picked up a bag of green tea,
yeah,
and smelled it.
yeah,
Like, so for olfactory in my nose, that's where I get the heaviest green tea. I get a little green tea finish. But for me and my palate, the very natural spice profile and the grass, the barnyard is the biggest of what I get.
mm-hmm.
And last thing as well, we talk about construction, we talk about burn rate, and how the cigar performed. The smoke is like big smoke.
Big smoke. It's
big
thick.
Smoke. Nice, silky in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually, that's a good. It's thick, silky smoke, not chewy.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No.
It was smooth.
Yep. Great retrohale.
Yeah.
Yeah, great experience. So yeah, if we can get Grouchy Monkey in North Carolina, I'm in.
Me too.
I'm in.
I want to smoke the others.
Oh, we will.
But
we will.
I'm sold on that. I see why they're so proud of it.
Absolutely. So on that note, once again, we thank you all for watching. If you got something and learned something about this and a Candela that you didn't already know, or we were able to take you deeper into the Candela rabbit hole, we hope you guys got something out of that.
My challenge to you guys is comment or DM your favorite Candela if you have one. Because I'm going to go out of my way to find them, order them, and we're going to smoke them together.
100%. Which, that's a great point. Please, absolutely feel free. DM us on Instagram, The Smoking Standard Zach. You can find me at The Smoking Standard Steve or The Smoking Standard Instagram page, where it's both feeds into Zach and I's accounts. Also, you watch the video, please leave comments in the video. We'll look back at that and absolutely would love to engage you on, you know, all things cigars, specifically on this video, the Candela. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode of the Smoking Standard Podcast.
Bye.
sing a song for mercy, sing it clear and kind. We all walk this same good earth, just trying to ease our mind.